What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off this upcoming week, a couple of things to watch. FOMC minutes. In my opinion, this could end up very positive. At least last couple, it's always resulted in just the general market to go higher. So again, that's coming out on Tuesday. Plus, on a side note, Powell's done a couple speeches and kind of alluded to what we should expect. So I don't think this one's going to be that big of a deal as what it has been in the past. But the following day on Wednesday, you have GDP as well as PCE. So that could be a very big market disruptor. And I think right now, everyone is just expecting the market just to continue on up like there's nothing able to stop it. Just in the last month alone, SoFi is up 49.13%. Very exciting stuff, but realistically, as I've kind of warned, first sign of fear, there's a lot of people have their finger over the trigger to sell. Similar to what's happening with crypto as of right now, one small little blip that's spooking everyone. So I think same goes for the broader market. A lot of the market is very overbought. So essentially, you could have those two data points. So again, PCE as well as GDP, that could be a disruptor. And then aside from that, Thursday market is closed in lieu of Thanksgiving, and then Friday the market is closed at 1 o'clock. So it is a early day for that. Historically, Friday is extremely low volume because of course just everyone takes the following day off. And for myself, which I like to always analyze data, probably too much, but Friday is going to be a key one for me, especially considering a lot of stocks that are heavily shorted, typically those entities that short take Friday off. So it's interesting, if you still do see abnormally high short kind of transactions and volume on Friday, usually is a telltale sign that those entities are foreign and don't have the day off. But that's going to be something that I can analyze later down the line. But while I'm actually on here, so going into this upcoming week, 14% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 149.12 million shares. Pretty much 4 out of the 5 days last week, you have seen this cost to borrow minimum negative. So there's one broker out there, probably direct competition to SoFi, that's trying to drum up business by paying people to short SoFi. So kind of weird stuff, but in my opinion, if and only if GDP and PCE come out better than anticipated, then I think shorts will continue to return their shares. Because realistically, I think just 14% is too high. Between roughly 10 and 11% is somewhat normal in my opinion. So I think shorts will continue to return shares, just it'll all come back onto the data. Right now, nothing planned for SoFi for this week. The following one, they're going to be participating at that fireside chat. I think that's on December 2nd or December 3rd. But aside from that though, it's just going to be following and piggybacking off of its own technicals and just the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on that. With SoFi closing at $15.60, that does mean that everything below that $15.50 is essentially in the money. You've seen some buying that did happen after hours on Friday, but not enough to cover all of this. So most likely, as I've stated, Monday, you should see a quick pop up in the stock price as market makers try to cover the rest right here. Whether it stays or not after that pop, I'm not really sure. But as of right now, going into this upcoming week, just take note of some of the strong support and resistance points. So with it at $15.60, right below this R2. So just watch for it to get above this $15.62, and then $15.95 would be that next strong target / resistance, which would equate to it being a new 52-week high. So I think just a lot of investors are just getting very used to just new 52-week highs every day. Even myself saying it every day, hey, we got a new 52-week high, congratulations. it's exciting stuff. I think SoFi is finally getting to where it should have been a long time ago. Just the market's been suppressing it quite a lot. If there is a pullback, just take note of some of the strong support points. So 1541, 1507, 1474, and then so forth and so forth. Based on the options that was being done recently, as you can kind of see looking at this, there's still a lot of optimism for this upcoming week though. So even though I'm saying that you could see a pullback, there is a lot of optimism. So for instance, you are seeing as high as roughly or in excess of $18 anticipated for this week. So like I said, it all will come back onto the data points that are coming out. So if GDP and PCE are positive, then you could see a nice continued run. And so like I said, based on options, it is anticipated for it to be roughly around that $18. So pretty kick-ass if you ask me. Aside from that, on the actual chart itself, so I'll move this over. So ultimately you kind of see it is above the ALMA right now. So I have the ALMA, 50, 100, 200-day moving average, super trend, stochastic RSI, and volume. So right now, SoFi's chart looks epic. I've been stating this is like absolutely amazing. The only caveat that I've brought up is the fact that it is overbought, which sometimes it's okay for a stock to stay overbought as it does correct and gets to its realistic value. But again, with negative data, you could see that kind of work against it. But generally, on the actual chart itself, looking at the 1 month, 1 week, everything is looking very, very good. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. I do realistically see a lot more upside coming, but I'm not ignorant enough to say that they won't have a pullback, because no stock goes up 50+% without some consolidation at some time. So yeah, just be prepared. Don't panic. That's just my own opinion, of course, but I think just SoFi is like we already do. And for those of you that have been in SoFi for a while, just based on just the earnings alone, we've already known that it should have been double digits. Just it's been the target of shorts for whatever reason, just direct competition with just the finance sector as a whole. And one thing I've always stated ever since I started to cover SoFi is that it is going to be a long process for it to really get accepted by Wall Street, because SoFi is trying to disrupt one of the oldest sectors, and so it's not an easy task. You're going to have a lot of hate, a lot of just shorting, manipulation, and that's what SoFi has so far endured. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. So realistically, if everything does go according to plan, data comes out better than anticipated, then I do see it kind of hitting between that 16 or high 16s, at least this week. That's what the Elliott Wave Technicals is kind of projecting as well. So it does have a pivot point of $12.63. So for as long as it is above that, then it is anticipated to get between these 2 points. So the 1610 to 1694. So I can see that fairly realistic, but then again, there's a hell of a lot more optimism out there. So who knows how high it could go. So throw your price predictions in the comments below. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with SoFi? And just generally, have you been dabbling with options? So really recommend a lot of individuals to kind of research that, as I've stated. But one final thing I just wanted to share with you, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. They've been absolutely killing it, so definitely pop over there, link in the description below and also the comments. Take a look. And yeah, with all that, appreciate all of you watching. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far.